So, have you heard about roaming before? Call roaming. Yeah, I know you're very smart. Some of you are very smart here. Not all of us are that smart, so we need to help each other understand. Roaming is basically when you travel out of your country and you still have to make phone calls without having to change SIM card. So you're still using your SIM card from back home, but you're making phone calls and receiving text messages. It's expensive. Yeah, it is very expensive, and it's very difficult. You know the bill is going to be heavy if you are on contract phone. So Burkina Faso and Ghana have signed an agreement to abolish roaming. Congratulations. Pick up my coffee. Yeah, it's amazing. Burkina Faso and Ghana. If you look at the map right here. You can see Burkina Faso. You can see this is Ghana. These are neighboring countries. Basically, some of the people by the border speak very similar languages, if not the same language. So they are literally the same people. Okay, they were divided by the Europeans when they came to Africa. Yeah. You know, all of these countries you see on the map here, you see all these African countries, they never existed. It's an illusion. It's basically Europeans that came and taught us this is your country. Your country's name is Kenya. Yours is Namibia. Yours is Botswana. Yours will be called South Africa. Yeah, we don't have a name for it, but let's call it South Africa. Yeah, before they came, there was no such thing as a country. That's why I don't subscribe to that nonsense of countries. It was just a big land of people living inside and dancing with each other. Tribes existed, clans existed, ethnic groups existed, but no countries. The bottom line is the country is so fake that when you take an aeroplane, okay, look on the floor, just look down as you're flying an airplane. You'll never see the border. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing like a separator. This is my country. This is yours. It doesn't exist. That's imagination. They put it on paper for you to make you believe. The reason why they created countries is very simple. They created countries so they can separate Africans. I know you don't like that, okay? But I'm going to tell you, they created countries with the goal of for them not to fight each other. When they sat together in whatever they say, okay, let's not fight each other like we've done in Europe for centuries, because French and Germans and British have fought each other for years and years and years. They say, let's go to Africa, let's go loot that continent with those savages, but let's not fight each other. The continent is rich with gold and diamonds. Let's just separate. Let's take these countries here are going to be France colony. These ones are going to be British colonies. Those ones are going to be Germans. These ones are going to be Portuguese. That was the idea. Burkina Faso and Ghana have decided to abolish roaming. So it's going to be local price, local rate. Burkina Faso and Ghana have signed a landmark agreement in November 2025 to remove roaming charges, allowing citizens to use mobile phone across their shared border at domestic rate. So you can go to Burkina Faso if you're Ghanaian and make a call at a local rate. Same for Burkina Faso in Ghana. So lovely, amazing. We love that. So as of November 2025, Burkina Faso have abolished roaming. It's going to be affordable.
This agreement on the pricing structure makes it possible to eliminate the tax associated with international roaming. In practical terms, this means that when individuals travel from one country to another, they will no longer be subjected to the extra charges that previously applied. To put it more clearly, people living in Burkina Faso who travel to Ghana will now be able to enjoy much more affordable communication services.
This is a beautiful thing. Ghana is one of the most amazing countries in Africa. I love it. Ghanaians are very welcoming. They don't ask you, where do you come from? Which country are you from? When are you going back to your country? They don't do that. They say to you, Mepacho, good afternoon. Oh, you are not Ghanaian. Oh, you are lying. You are a Tony. No, you are Ghanaian. That's Ghanaian people for you. You know, I was very surprised. I went to Ghana. I went all the way to Cape Coast. This is Cape Coast. Look at this is the distance between Accra, most people, know Accra, and Cape Coast. Cape Coast is by the coast. That's exactly actually where all the slaves were taken, into ships all across to America and stuff. Now, in Cape Coast are so places where people sleep outside because it's so hot. They sleep just outside. They sleep outside the house. They put whatever on the floor and they sleep. I was like, wow. They're not even scared because nobody gonna hurt nobody. That's Ghana for you. I mean, in Ghana, you see somebody's goat just walking into the neighborhood. Yeah, a goat, like, bah. Somebody's chicken walking into the neighborhood. Nobody's stealing it. Yeah, I know, in many African countries, it's changing now, but in African countries, you steal people with goat. You see chicken and stuff. Like, it's a beautiful feeling. You wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock, you hear, In some countries, you don't see that no more. That's beautiful. In some countries, you have to go to the village to hear that. In Cape Coast, you're hearing, you've been waking up by chicken or a cock. It's amazing. Anyway, congratulations to Burkina Faso and Ghana. Beautiful countries, beautiful people coming together, showing to the world that, we're not going to subscribe to that bullshit, that nonsense of people talking about. Now, let's get back to Burkina Faso. In Burkina Faso, they're doing some great things. You know, fellas, I always say, with the black people, development has to do with behavior. You can't talk about development in the black community without checking on people's behavior. I'm sorry. If you bring development without checking on people's behavior, people are going to shit in their hand and put it in the face of the president like this. Say, Mr. President, in the name of democracy, take this shit because I don't like what you're saying. Yeah, that's black people for you. I'm sorry. Sometimes we don't know the limits. And this has nothing to do with just Africans. If you see every black community, you go to the Caribbean, it's the same disease. You go to the US, it's the same demons. Now, in Burkina Faso, they're doing some crazy work. Now, basically, look at this. You see this on the sea. It's basically farming, fish farming, it's called. Fish farming, it's a technique that's been developed where they can put fish cages in water, like natural water, rivers, sometimes the ocean. Fish cages, they will put fish inside the cage. So the cage goes all the way to the ground. As you can see, down is fillets or net. It's basically a net keeping the fish inside. Why do you do that? You do that so you can keep the fish focused on one place. They don't run away. They stay in one place. It's your fish. And you can feed them and protect them from predators under the sea. So what had occurred was some of the people in Burkina Faso were going swimming to the net at night, cut the net and steal the fish. And this is a project by people that are being financed by the government. Government financed some people to do some work. These people are doing tremendous work. And some crazy guy that's not necessarily, go and trying to steal the stuff. So Burkina Faso's got a special task group of people whose job is to straighten people. So they were watching these people through cameras and stuff, and they arrested them.
However, we are truly disappointed because when we arrived, we found that the work was not progressing at all. The delay cannot be blamed on anyone else, nor on the idea that the activity is not profitable. Instead, we have observed that it is the children of the local community who are engaging in acts of sabotage aimed at harming this activity. They wait until the fish have reached maturity, then come during the night to tear the nets in order to steal the fish, which they later sell cheaply on the market. We call on them to put an end to this irresponsible and uncivil behavior. This is not an unfounded accusation. The site is under video surveillance. The thieves even swim out to remove the cameras, and once they have disabled them, they proceed to steal the fish. These individuals clearly do not wish to see the development of our country, and their actions work directly against the well-being and progress of the producers. We therefore urge parents, traditional authorities in the area, and all local leaders responsible for ensuring the proper functioning of the village to take concrete measures ranging from awareness raising to appropriate sanctions against those engaging in such acts. If nothing is done, and if such behavior continues unchecked, the development of our country will be seriously undermined.
Congratulations to that. And also, let me just remind you that these people are doing tremendous work, okay, in Burkina Faso. They are called the Labal Brigade. The Labal Brigade's job is to straighten the black man, make sure he's not going sideways. That's what they do. So there's another issue in Burkina Faso. This issue, not just in Burkina Faso, in many African countries, as a matter of fact, it's called in French nuisance nocturne. Nuisance nocturne is basically just noise at night, making noise at night. Now, in this case, you will see them going to a bar, asking a bar if they have a license to operate over 11 p.m. In many African countries, you can't necessarily work if you're a bar or a nightclub throughout the night unless you have a proper license. Some license will take you from whichever time until 1 o'clock in the morning. Some other license will take you to 3 o'clock. Some other license will take you to 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, for places where it's not necessarily an enclosed bar and you live in a neighborhood, because in many African countries, nightclubs are not built in a nightclub area. Nightclubs are built into urban communities. So people could be sleeping 10 meters away and you have a nightclub, you're pumping music. They don't want that anymore. Now, for those clubs, what they've done is, if it's not necessarily a club that meets the standard, but people sit outside playing music, the music is going to be loud. Now, up until 11, you should close your business. Unless you're a nightclub inside the building with soundproofing, you cannot operate over 11. And these are the soldiers from Laval Brigade making sure that people are doing their job.
Do you have the opening permit? And did you get the opening permit? What time is it? You have to stop the music, but what time is it? What time is it? 11 p.m. Okay. It's 11:30 p.m. It's almost midnight. Listen, I'm reminding you of the regulations regarding this matter after 11 p.m. The noise must no longer be audible from the outside. The noise must no longer be audible from the outside. If you have ways to limit the noise inside, you do it. Otherwise, it's 10 p.m. You turn off the music. We must no longer hear the noise after 11 p.m. You're going to turn that off today, right now, and you must never turn it on again until 11 p.m. At 10 p.m., you turn it off. Is that understood? Go ahead and turn off the music first. Cut completely. We shouldn't even hear a sound anymore. That's your problem. No worries. We'll continue with the show. They're canceling too. It's you guys, the big presenters. Yes, we'll go see the manager. Understand? You'll never present after 10 p.m. again.
So with the nightclubs and the noise, look, this is not just limited to music and bars and restaurants. Sometimes you find it with churches in Africa. Have you heard of this? I know this is going to trigger a lot of people, but I don't give a continental. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth for sure. So some churches in many countries in Africa, they will pray throughout the day, okay? And at night, they will continue to pray. Now, unfortunately, some of these churches are not in closed building. They are just open. And they put microphones and speaker phones and bigger speakers facing outside at night. They have what they call the overnight prayer. They will be singing and playing them. They will sing like that until 4 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes you have a house, you have a neighbor, and the neighbor decides to change his house into a church. Yes. The neighbor can decide from a day to the other to say God spoke to him and he must sacrifice his home and make it a church. And people will sing at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you dare open your mouth, say, why are you making noise? They say you're the devil. They say you have a demon inside you. You know, the fact that they're screaming the name of the Lord, that demon is is boiling inside you. That's why you're speaking. The fact that you're speaking is not because you're angry. It's not you. It's the demon inside you that's speaking. Because you're asking them to stop the noise. Now, some countries don't have regulators. They don't regulate. Shuttle countries don't regulate. Now, unfortunately, in many of these shuttle countries, you see in one avenue, we're talking about one street, there could be 25 different churches. Yes, Christian churches. If you ask them to come together and create one church where they can actually praise the same God, they don't like that. No. They say their visions are different. My vision is not your vision. Therefore, somebody has to regulate that. Matter of fact, Rwanda, you see Rwanda on the map? Rwanda closed about 5,000 churches. He said, you don't need so much churches. If you want to pray, come together in one church and pray. You don't have to do that. Because the bottom line is in most of these poor African countries, churches are there to loot the people. I'm telling you the truth. Even the real pastors know that they are fake pastors. And all these stupid people think all churches are churches of God. You will see there's something that always come together. Countries with the biggest problems have the most churches. Look at Nigeria. Churches in every street. Yeah, that's Nigeria for. Look at DRC. Churches in every street, especially in the capital. Okay? Not just any Doc and Tim and Harry can wake up the next morning and say, okay, God spoke to me at night, I want to open a church. That's what they do. They start calling him prophet. That's the craziness. They don't understand that you need to go to school for that. So in Rwanda, before you open a church, you need to go to school. You need to study theology, understand what you're talking about. I mean, you don't allow your child to go learn from just anybody. You make sure they're qualified, right? You don't allow your family members to be operated by just anybody. You make sure they have a degree in medicine, right? You don't just fly in an airplane that's taken by somebody God spoken to, say you can be a pilot now. You don't do that. You make sure he's qualified. So Burkina Faso is also closing those type of situations. Congratulations to Big Ama Coffee, man. Big Ama Coffee. Don't be sentimentalist. Now, in Burkina Faso, they're doing something great again. They're running after people that are selling. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, this has touched every corner of the world. Look at this.
We were approached by a man about a suspected case of illegal drug dealing, controlled substances, and all sorts of suspicious activities in the area, in the middle of Gare de l'Est. Open that. This needs to be removed from the police. This system here, you have to look at it like this. You're going to replace that. Good, good. Hello, this. We went to that location to check. We found an apron used to sell cigarettes and other things. We checked this equipment. As for the narcotics, we didn't find any in this equipment. The hole in the wall. There you go, that one. We've seen others like it. But they tell us that it's not theirs, and they also don't know who put it there. So it's important to understand that even if it's not his, he could still be an accomplice. He can't just sit here while people come to smoke drugs next to him and claim he doesn't know where it comes from. So in a way, he's also an accomplice. So he needs to prove to us and help us understand where it comes from, its origin, if it really isn't his. That's why we brought him in, to check, to investigate further, and to make sure where this drug came from.
That's what it is, fellas. Burkina Faso is like a young boy, just been born, being educated. They're teaching that boy everything. This is how you wash your hands before you eat. This is how you conduct yourself among adults. This is how you pee. You know, I'm sorry, but this is what you need to teach in many African countries because people have no discipline. Discipline is everything. Congratulations to them, first of all. Ghana and Burkina Faso signing this deal that will abolish roaming charges. You don't need roaming charges. We are the same people. We should be able to see each other and talk to one another and love each other with no problem. If you're facing people from a country of problem, we need to put them aside. We don't need them. Or none of that. Yeah, those people must stay in the corner until we resolve. We will deal with them later. Let's love each other. We can't prevent ourselves from loving each other because some people are mad in the head. Okay, congratulations to them. Congratulations to Burkina Faso doing a great thing. You know, catching thieves, making sure there's no noise at night, and putting in jail those people that are selling. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. Your comment is always appreciated, fellas. We always want to tell you the truth here. No sugarcoating. That's why you come back. God bless.